And we focus first on breaking news from Ethiopia today, where it's 17:06 local time, as the Ethiopian government says it's declaring an immediate, indefinite humanitarian truce in the civil war involving the northern region of Tigray. Addis Ababa says it is to facilitate the free flow of emergency humanitarian aid into Tigray. Kalkidan Yibeltal reports for the BBC from Addis Ababa, and he's on the line into the Focus on Africa studio in London now. Kalkidan, first of all, who made the announcement and what does it actually mean?
Yes, the announcement came about an hour and a half ago from the government's communication office. And as you said, they said that they're declaring this truce on humanitarian grounds. And they call upon the Tigrayan fighters to stop what they called an aggression in neighboring Afar and Amhara regions. And they said that, there is an immediate and urgent need to provide aid for the Tigrayan people, and this humanitarian truce is necessitated by that. Of course, for the past 16 months, there has been, this civil war going on, which is marked by what humanitarian groups call a de facto blockade by the government. So as recently as this week, there are different reports. We were hearing different reports that the government is not facilitating enough or sufficiently for aid to get through to Tigray. Because millions of people there are in desperate needs of aid. Hundreds of thousands are facing famine. We're hearing reports of people dying from hunger or from lack of medical supplies. And aid agencies were calling for more to be done. So now the government announces that it's declaring this truce. We haven't heard any response from the Tigrayan side, but by the look of things, if indeed this truce continues and if it's implemented well, that can be a good news, particularly for the people who need aid and for the aid workers who want to transport aid to the region.
And I'm also struck by the use of two very interesting adjectives, Kalkidan: immediate and indefinite. Does this mean that this provides an outlet, sort of a small hole where talks can begin to be held on the resolution of the entire crisis with Tigray?
Well, this comes from a progression of various developments that can be seen as positive steps towards peace talks or towards solving the crisis at all. Of course, these steps are not fast enough, or they're not as quick as many people would have wanted. But even this week, the U.S. Special Envoy David Satterfield was here. The African Union's mediator, Mr. Obasanjo, was here, and they were talking to government officials, and Mr. Obasanjo's traveling to different regions, including Tigray as well. So we're seeing these steps, and also the fighting. It seems that it has decreased significantly in the past 2-3 months. Of course, there are still skirmishes and sporadic fightings and clashes, particularly along the Tigray and Afar border that we're hearing, but it's not as significant fighting, on-ground fighting, as it was back in December, back in November. So this announcement comes amid a progression of steps, albeit slow, towards some sort of negotiation.
And in about 30 seconds or so, Kalkidan, this is also a unilateral pronouncement on the part of the Ethiopian government. As you said earlier on, we've not heard anything from the TPLF side. Again, does the government want anything in reciprocity for what it's done from the Tigray side? Has it said anything of that sort?
Well, the government said that the Tigrayan forces have to stop what it calls an aggression in the neighboring regions, and it also says that they have to leave areas that they control. Particularly in their eastern neighbor Afar, they have managed to control a few districts there. So the government says that they have to leave from there, but we'll have to wait and hear how this is going to be received by the Tigrayan forces.
Kalkidan Yibeltal live in Addis Ababa. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.